Hi everyone and welcome. So my name is Eleanor Jarvis and I've been the events community and digital fundraising officer here at the Multiple System Atrophy Trust, also known as the MSA Trust, for over 3 years. And I have had the absolute pleasure of working closely with our incredible fundraising community. So people take on everything from skydives, coffee mornings, marathons, and even head shaves, all to raise vital funds for our support services and research. And I also work closely with our wider MSA community to help share member stories, raise awareness, and support all those affected by multiple system atrophy. So today, I'm so excited to bring you a very special interview with two amazing fundraisers who have truly thrown everything they have into supporting the trust this past year. And one of them, Lorraine, was even named our 2024 Fundraiser of the Year. Um, so you'll be able to watch this full conversation on our website, social media, and our YouTube channel. So please do share it with anyone who might find it useful or meaningful. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined today by two wonderful people, Loz and Andy, who have kindly offered to share their journey with us. So yeah, Loz and Andy, thank you so much for being here. Could you start by introducing yourselves and telling us a bit about your relationship?
Hi, my name is Andy. I am a 56-year-old man, married to Lorraine, Loz for sure. I have three daughters, Maddie, Esther and Layla, by a previous marriage.
That's it. And I think Andy will be answering questions on his AI digital voice, and then I'll be answering questions afterwards. So.
Fantastic. So could you share a little bit about your journey with MSA? When was the diagnosis and how has it impacted your lives?
I was first diagnosed with MSA in August 2023, but my first symptoms were noticeable to me about 18 months before. The first big symptom was balance, which was not good for a cyclist, as I kept falling off. We went away to Barcelona. I fell into the road at 9 and we visited our GP and they gave us our neurological referral. So our journey began.
Yeah, so it was a massive impact, and it's really changed everything. We moved from the southeast back to Wales for me to take up a trauma surgical job to help set up the trauma service here. Andy is a theatre scrub nurse by trade and was theatre manager at the Children's Hospital in Cardiff. And when we got the diagnosis, everything had to change. So Andy went through ill health retirement. I quit the role of clinical director of the South Wales Trauma Network, and but was able to continue part-time as a trauma surgeon with my fabulous team. But yes, I mean, we then moved in with my mum and dad, who have enabled me to keep working and us to keep enjoying living life. But that's quite hard. You don't expect to have to have your daughter and son-in-law when you're in your 70s moving back in to help care for them. So they have been an amazing support to us. And a change in our daily activities. We're very active. Andy, as I said, he said, loves cycling. I love swimming. We travelled together. So we've really just had to adapt.
Yeah, of course. And despite the challenges, you've both been incredibly active on social media. What sort of inspired you to share your story so openly?
As a nurse, I have spent most of my working life telling people that they should not be embarrassed about their disabilities or difficulties. It would be very hypocritical of me to hide from my own when it appears. Believe me, I am as prideful and stubborn as anyone, but that pride and stubbornness has no positive impact on my life.
And I think that's the most important thing, really. It's about having a positive attitude and trying to share that in the face of adversity. It's a terrible diagnosis. It's a progressive degenerative disease. But we continue to have hope that we can live each day, and enjoy living each day as we can, whilst we can. I think The other thing for us as well as medical professionals, we'd never heard of MSA. We know people who have Parkinson's, we know about MND, but really the Parkinson's plus syndrome, of which MSA is one, we had never even encountered it. So, and it shuts down the bodily functions in a similar way. It's a devastating neurological condition. So we wanted to raise awareness. We wanted to be transparent about our journey. I think it's really important to be real about how hard it is, but also not to be full of self-pity, just to embrace things, and also to demonstrate to our friends, family, and the wider community about, what it's actually like and what you can do, what you can still do.
Oh, that's incredibly inspiring, such a great outlook. Thank you. You recently won our Fundraiser of the Year. Congratulations. And what motivated you both to sort of start fundraising, and what has that experience been like?
We started with my bucket list. This quickly became how can we raise Loz? And Loz has become a real driver and inspiration.
Yeah, I commandeered Andy's bucket list, and then it's now my bucket list, or our bucket list. The first thing on the bucket list was the Ride London 100. Andy's done it several times before as a seasoned cyclist, and he was determined to do it one last time, and also to ride with his daughter Maddie, who had never cycled really before either. Don't get me wrong, I had my reservations, my anxiety was out the window. It took a military operation to try and organise and coordinate. He didn't do as much training as I thought he should have done, to be fair, and I actually worried whether he would, have some sort of accident or have a terrible outcome, a catastrophic outcome on the ride. But he did it on his adapted recumbent ice trike with Maddie and a close friend Gibby. In 10 hours, and just kept pedaling. So that was a huge thing, and raised a huge amount of money for the MSA Trust. We'd had several other events. We decided to kind of throw ourselves into it last year, as you've commented. The first one really was when I was doing a bit of my amateur dramatics. I played the Vicar of Dibley in a production with the Potato Street Players, and we ended up auctioning off a load of my cuddly toys and raised £650, which was great. We've had friends who've challenged themselves. Kate Gould, our pal, did the Brighton peer-to-peer. Kerry Davis, another great friend, did the Gower Ultra Marathon. We joined in the MSA March for MSA in 2024, and we had 54 of our friends and family who took part as the Jackson Strollers. So that was incredible. And I think the one important thing for me on the bucket list was renewing our wedding vows. And that sort of coincided with another of Andy's bucket list items, which was a chateau in France with friends and family. So we combined the two, and we had two amazing celebrations, really faithful celebrations. And again, that raised a lot of money. So we've just enjoyed things and really gone with it, whilst raising awareness and funds as we can.
Fantastic. And what would you say has been the most rewarding or unexpected part of your fundraising journey?
For me, our two wedding blessings. Celebrating with friends reminds us I can still be part of normal society.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it was just incredible. They were just amazing events. We both have a very strong faith, so that's really important to us, and it's really important to count our blessings and be thankful. One thing for me, I think, was the Ride London. I mentioned my anxieties and my lack of trust, and I think it really taught me that actually Andy does know his boundaries and his limits. He'll really push himself, but I think I have to trust in him more. I mustn't fuss and try and do things for him and disable him, because that just frustrates and annoys him. And also, I think one poignant phrase from the MSA story that he had on your website was that cycling through the Essex countryside made him feel normal for a day, and that really is priceless, really priceless.
Yeah, of course. And what role has the MSA Trust played in supporting you both, and what does the trust mean to you?
The digital support groups organised by the MSA Trust shows me and my family we are not alone in travelling this journey.
Yeah, I think I second that. The digital support groups have been fantastic. We're part of the Wales and the Southwest. There are a few characters on there, Andy being one of them. It's just a chance to meet up and share stories and actually share experiences and questions and answers. And Jill, who's our nurse, supports that. And that's been amazing. We've actually met a couple who live nearby who also suffer MSA, and that's been really encouraging too. I think the other thing as well is that, you know, actually as far as supporting for the MSA, it's about getting the awareness and the research, you know, sort of helping with research as well. So that, I mean, we were hopeful to be able to be involved in research studies. We haven't been able to so far, but we've put ourselves forward, and I think those are really important things.
Yeah, of course. And for others facing an MSA diagnosis, or for those wanting to support a loved one, what advice would you give them?
No one is alone. The problem is nothing but a solution waiting to be found. Ask for help. Pride is your enemy.
Yeah, I think asking for help is really important. You know, when we had the diagnosis, it really did feel like the end of the world, didn't it? You actually had a sneaking suspicion that it was MSA. You'd done a lot of research. I was in cloud cuckoo land, you know, sort of hoping that it wasn't. And, you know, it was devastating. But, you know, it's important to try and move on from that. Your symptoms deteriorating, that's hard to deal with. You know, I used to call them new lows, and a friend of mine, Anne, encouraged me to think more positively about new normals so that we can tackle those together. So I think that's really important. I think also, you know, I think the advice for carers is, I think there's three parts to it really. First of all, you've got to look after yourself, because if you are not full to be able to give, then you can't give anything. So even if it's just a cup of tea, you know, half hour in the morning, that's really important. The second thing, I guess, is patience. Things are a lot slower these days. Takes a lot more time. I'm not a very patient person, am I? But I've had to learn that. And I think finally is finding your support network, of which the MSA Trust is part of ours. We are really blessed with friends and family. We have work colleagues who are very supportive. The NHS locally is really supportive for us, our palliative care team, our neurophysio, community OT, even the gastro team who will be fitting your feeding tube soon. You know, they've been amazing. So I think it's just find your support network. I have a group of girlfriends who I call my guardian angels that I can ring at any time, and they mean the world to me.
She means she can drink wine with them.
I can drink wine with them as well. But I think it's just sharing, isn't it? It's being able to share, offload, and be real. So I think those advice things I think we could give.
Oh, that's brilliant and really, really great advice. Thank you. And what's next for you both? Do you have any future fundraising plans?
I think our group of friends have been hugely generous, and it's maybe time to give them a rest. If, however, something special comes up that we can go big with, then we will.
Yes, and speaking of going big, we've got a little joglet to do around London on Sunday, which is Andy's birthday, where I've been privileged to have a place for the MSA Trust to run the London Marathon. I've got my Go Faster hair colour that's been done for my orange outfit. I've also got some other parts of kit, and I've got a cape that I hope will make me fly around London as well. I'm no runner. It's been really hard work training. I'll not lie to you. In fact, Andy's Ride London was the inspiration to do something which is completely out of my comfort zone. So this is the final hurrah. And we're so grateful. I mean, I think my page has raised over £5,000 already. And I'm so thankful to those people who've donated, and thank you to anybody who is going to donate, because the funds are really, really vital. But yes, so I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, Eleanor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll absolutely just echo that. I think your friends, your family, all the people that have donated and supported you this year, they're fantastic. And yeah, definitely time to leave them alone, because you both have done the fundraising that you've done this year has just
The
been.
only thing I would say, Alan, right now, if there's anyone out there who can come up with an idea that we can all jump on, and as a group we can say, yep, let's go national with it, then
Contact Eleanor.
yeah,
Contact Eleanor.
contact you and we'll jump on board with it.
Yeah.
Because
we want to keep supporting.
It's worth supporting, worth advertising. Let's go.
Brilliant. Andy, fantastic. Well, thank you both so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and for everything you've done to support the trust. It's been incredible. And also thank you to everyone who's watching. If you are a member of the MSA community and would like to share your story through a virtual interview like this one, please feel free to contact the team at fundraising@msatrust.org.uk. We're always so keen to highlight the voices and experiences within our MSA community. So yeah, with that, I'll say thank you so much to Andy and Loz again, and take care, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.